Oh, good evening, all my little Pokemons. Mewtwo here with you today. A little bit, feathery, and, that's normal, I suppose. Uh, but this evening, I have, game thoughts for you tonight. That was redundant. I apologize. This evening, I have game thoughts for you. And the game in question is, something I originally had just rented a lot on the Nintendo. But here in my elder years, I finally did purchase a copy for me to keep. And this would be Solar Jetman. Now, this actually was a very good game on the Nintendo, the original NES. Um, so, it's a space game, but not your average space game. You're not just straight up a shooter. Yes, you're there to shoot things, which is fine. But you're not just a run across the screen shooting things. You have gravity against you. Um, it's one of the first games I remember that had a good sense of gravity. That is the easiest way to put it. Because it's not one of the kinds of games where you fly around like Star Wars, where you're just like, it looks like fighter planes in space zooming around, doing dogfights. No. You're more like a tow truck. I think that is the best way to put it. You are an intergalactic tow truck who happens to have a little bit of a pew pew gun coming out the front of you. Now, uh, that's where this starts. um, you're going from planet to planet, getting the necessary fuel to escape the planet, plus get money off of the items you can acquire elsewise, like gems and other rare materials and whatnot. And occasionally, you'll find ship components as well, uh, which will improve your cute little hovery pod thing. So, basically, you do have thrust. And thrust matters because you are constantly falling effectively, so you have to be actually using your thruster against the ground every so often just to keep going forward, well, from falling down. Uh, and oftentimes when you're hauling an object, you're now dealing with the weight and its gravity and its momentum, and you're fighting against that with your little bit of tiny thruster. All the while, random things in the level are shooting at you. um, so you're trying to get stuff, and you have to tow it back to your main spaceship, your carrier unit. You're effectively just in a little pod as you're doing this, and you need to refill your big carrier. You need to find all the items you need to upgrade your ship awareness the any given planet, and find one of the 12 pieces of the golden spaceship. Uh, every single planet you go to, you're looking for that especially. Now, um, it it's interesting in the concept that you are not just adventurer man, you're little pod that could doing all this stuff. Um, and you getting your upgrades really is useful. Between levels, between planets, you get to go to the shop and spend some of that money you've earned. Um, and hopefully purchase either additional temporary use weapons like missiles, homing missiles, or better shield, or better ships in general. There are two improved little fighter pods. You can get the one that's a little bit better and the one that's a lot better. um, Throughout the game, you also get like better booster rockets for your ship. Um, a shield, which is not useful when you're trying to haul a thing, because as soon as you turn your shield on, your little tow cable goes away. So that's a thing to worry about. You cannot be defending while you're working. Essentially, you have to clear the way first and then pick up the thing to take back to your ship. Or occasionally a wormhole that will teleport it back to your ship, depending on the situation. So it quickly ramps up. The first level is really, really easy. If it's your first time playing, you're probably going to lose your pod at least once, and that's okay. Once you lose your pod, you're actually a ton easier to control, but you cannot move items. You're just a little Jetman, which is where the name probably came from for the game. So as soon as the moment your pod just is destroyed, you're just a little spacesuit, but you have all the best control. You are just gravity. You can go up, over, back into your ship, and the mothership, and you'll immediately be able to come out with another pod. No life lost. If you die, though, as the little man, you lose a life. And you have a limited number of those. So be careful. This gets more difficult when you get to lower levels because you're not as easily able to just pop back up to your ship when you lose your little pod. There are occasionally, though, these little wormhole things which will take you back to your ship immediately, so at least you have that going for you. Some of the bad guys include just little pew pew gun pods on the wall, all the way up to big flying cruiser ships that shoot rockets and bullets and all sorts of hoo-ha at you. But in most cases, if you kill a bad guy in a level, it stays dead. So if you go through and just methodically take out bad guys, or at least do damage, go back, get a new pod for yourself, go back, do more damage, take out something else, lose your ship, go back, you will eventually clear almost any level. So, in most respects, this game is possible for anyone who has patience, which that's something I definitely have for this kind of game. I'm a grindaholic. I'm a methodical, step-by-step person with these kind of games, so for me, this is how I'd like to play it. It works out. The levels do get excessively harder from the first one. The first one is super, super crazy. The second level, which you just went from planet with one little tube that you went down in to planet with multiple tubes you go down in, bad guys across the surface, big bad guys everywhere, lots of extra tunnels you have to go into, heavier gravity to deal with, all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff. That's okay. You're going to be fine, I promise. Just keep going in slowly but surely, explore a little bit. It does make these 12 planets become much more of a game because it takes you a while to get through a planet methodically, painstakingly, making sure to do everything, not missing a treasure, doing your best to not lose any actual lives in the process. You do learn and you do get better as you go through this. And eventually, you'll probably save up enough money to get the faster, bestest spaceship, and probably a few power-ups you can spend here and there willy-nilly, and you'll get through all 12 planets. The gravity is variable on different planets. Some of them is actually negative gravity. Some of it's really, really heavy gravity. So you are really fighting to keep your items upward as you escape with them back to your ship. And eventually, though, yes, you will beat all 12 planets. and you will get the last piece of the golden spaceship. And then you're playing a completely different game. I'm not kidding. It goes from being this little space tow truck man effectively game to a regular left to right shmup. And that's the only part of the game I actually don't like is the last level because it's not the same as the rest of the game at all. It feels like it is really completely different video game that just tacked on as the final boss level. And you are a side-scrolling shooty gold ship that's shooting at a boss. And that's it. Personally, I love playing through the regular levels, the regular missions. I love putting this game in just for some relaxing. I say that loosely, because it can get stressful as you're trying to go up, and all of a sudden, the gravity on the finger trying to tow decides to go this way, and you get pulled over here, and then you get blown up. But I enjoy going through any of the given 12 levels and going in a plane having a good time. This game did not have a save feature. It does, however, have codes, so you can type in a code and get somewhere else in the game. And thanks to originally, the magic of the cheat code book, one of the Nintendo guidebooks came with the Nintendo Power was a password book. It had several passwords for different levels in this game, with different amounts of money and at least one that gave you each of the two bigger ships. So if you just want to experience them, you can just go in and do that. Thanks to the internet, you could probably find codes to go to pretty much any level you want and enjoy any part of the game you really want to enjoy. So there are options. Personally, I like just going through the game one level at a time and getting through it. And that's my dig on it. You can do what you want, honestly. There's plenty of ways to just go where you want to go in the game, to go straight to the last level and be a gold ship and zip to the end. If that's what you really want to do. But you're missing the actual fun of the game. It's like saying playing Mario 1 and just kind of taking the warp zone to the last level. What about the rest of the levels? All those other levels were fun. If you're skipping the game, why are you playing the game? Have fun with it. You're not here just to beat the thing. You're here to experience it. And in this case, yeah, I find experiencing the all the different planets is the fun of this game. That is the excitement. You really feel like you're exploring and being a little shuttle pod and being way outgunned by your opponents, but you strategically have unlimited shuttle pods, so assuming you keep going back and getting more, whereas they have just what they have. And if you're a good little shuttle seeker, find all the treasures on any given planet, you will be able to buy cool stuff pretty quickly. Buy the better ships. Buy more side weapons. Whatever it takes. And you can have fun with it. So, if you're into that kind of game, which is definitely on the oddball section, definitely recommend looking for it. I bought it pretty cheap not too long ago at a used location, and I paid apparently $6. That'll focus. I can't see if it's focusing or not. But apparently I paid $6 for a loose used copy of this game in working condition. So, I mean, it's not a hard one to get a hold of. And it's not expensive when you're not going to break your bank on it. So, yeah, I 100% recommend it if you get a shot and you're into oddball things. I rented it tons as a kid. I owns it now, and I have beaten it before and probably will beat it more than once again. Yeah. As far as Nintendo games go in general, I don't own that many at this point that aren't specifically ones that I wanted or had played as a kid and really enjoyed. I had stupidly sold my Nintendo games. I traded them in, thinking I would magically be able to get some great Genesis games. It was young me back when trade-ins was a new thing, and I realized after I'd handed away all my good games, I got tiddlywinks for money for it. So, not really a positive experience on that. But over the years, I have been able to acquire most of the games back that I actually wanted out of them. So, in the end, I'd say I'm still up. um, between owning physical copies of most of the games I actually wanted off the Nintendo, I do own quite a few of them also on the Mini NES and a Mini SNES for some respect to those games too. So, yeah, eventually we all get what we need in life or what we really want. In this case, I got Solar Jetman for $6, and I had still another bottle out of it. I've gotten more than $6 worth of entertainment out of that, so that's a win. Anyway, just a little game thoughts here for you tonight. Mewtwo feeling like felt like being put on. I really felt like just shooting another video, and this happened. So definitely want to thank all you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The little dingly bell at the bottom, it lets you know when I post a new video, and um, also my Patreon link will be in the description if you're so inclined. I don't require it, but every penny goes to support this channel, and hey, maybe you'll end up getting me another game that I can talk about. I mean, who knows? More likely, I'll get more video equipment sooner, though. I'd love to get a better camera or more lighting. We'll see what comes down the pike. I know some more costuming items have been ordered. That's out of my own money. It's not out of the Patreon money. And that'll also add to the fun. Look forward to that in the future. Anyway, this is Mewtwo saying thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me babble about games tonight. And I hope you all have a lovely rest of your night. And stay fat free. Tickle, tickle.